In today's lab, we are learning about advanced tunneling using Chisel and Socat. I'll try to explain the commands, the results, and why each command was run. The goal of the lab is to build secret tunnels and then use them to access internal services that we normally wouldn't be able to see. You can think of it as a house. Inside the house is a room that has been locked, and you're standing outside the house, so you can't get into that room directly. So you build a secret underground pipe that will go through the house and into the locked room. The secret pipe you build is called a tunnel. The objective of the lab is to create tunnels using Chisel and Socat and use those tunnels to access internal services. And then we have to prove that it worked. So we have two machines here. We have the attacker's machine and then the victim's machine. The victim has access to the internal services. So maybe internal services like internal web.local or internal API.local. Internal services are private systems that run inside a network and they are not meant for outsiders. They can only be accessed from inside. You can think of internal services as a shop. So a public website is the front of a shop. And then the internal services is the staff break room inside the shop. So customers cannot enter the break room. But if someone sneaks inside the building, they can enter the break room. So attackers cannot access the internal services directly, but the victim can. So we are going to make the victim act as a bridge. For this lab, the first thing we are going to do is to copy this command. I'll copy this command and paste it on the attacker's machine. wget in this command means webget. So it downloads files from the internet. So we are downloading Chisel because we need it to create the tunnels. So when I press enter, over here, here we see HTTP request sent, awaiting response 200 OK. So 200 OK means that the download was successful. We have successfully downloaded the tool and now we are ready to use it. It says 100%. It has been completed. So the file has been saved and we are ready to use the tool. The next command I'm going to run is the second command. I'll copy this and then this time I'll paste it on the victim's machine. So what this command is doing is, for Chisel, it simply means the tool. Start Chisel in server mode. Port 8080 means listen on the port 8080. And reverse means allow reverse tunneling. Reverse tunneling means the victim will allow tunnels to be created back to the attacker. So when we press enter, the results tell us ready to accept connections, listening on port 8080, reverse tunneling enabled. That means that the victim is now waiting for the attacker to connect. Now we are going to create the Chisel tunnel, but we'll create it from the attacker. So I'll copy the third command and paste it here on the attacker's machine. Now with the third command, Chisel again means the tool that we are using, which is Chisel, but we are starting it in client mode. And this part here, 192.168.1.100 is the victim's Chisel server. Here, it means open the port 8080 on the local machine, which is the attacker's machine. So when someone connects to it, it will forward the traffic through the victim to the internal service on the port 80 or 80. So in simple words, when I visit localhost 8080, secretly send that traffic through the victim to the internal web server. So when we press enter, the output confirms that we see here ready to accept connections, tunnel established over here, and we see connected to 192.168.1.100. So this means that the tunnel is active. We've created a secret pipe. The next thing we are going to do is to create a Socat tunnel. And for that, we have to use a different tool. So for step 4, I'm going to copy the command and I'll paste it on the attacker's machine. With this command, you see here TCP listen 9090. That means you are listening on the port 9090. Then we see fork. Fork allows for different or multiple connections. And we see this part here that tells us to forward traffic to the internal API.local on the port 8080. So now if someone connects to port 9090 on the attacker's machine, it gets forwarded to the internal API server. When we press enter, we see here listening on port 9090, forwarding to internal API.local. That means that the tunnel is active. The tunnel we created is active now. And so to test everything, we're going to use the curl command. I'm going to paste it here. So we know curl is a command line tool that is used to request web pages. So instead of opening a browser, we are going to be using curl, and we are requesting localhost 8080. But we have to remember that 8080 is secretly forwarded through the victim to internal web.local. So when we press enter, we get this result. We get 200 OK, and it tells us the type of content that is an HTML page. So 200 OK means it worked, the request worked, the tunnel worked, and we've accessed an internal service that we normally shouldn't be able to see. So the mission has been accomplished. So in this video, we acted as both the attacker and the victim. The attacker is outside the house and the victim is inside the house. And the internal services are the locked rooms. So we turn the victim into a bridge and then we build tunnels and we walk through those tunnels. And that is what advanced tunneling is. In today's lab, we are learning about proxy chains. The goal of this lab is to create a secret tunnel through one machine and then force all our tools like Nmap and curl to go through that tunnel. So we do this because sometimes there are internal machines that we cannot reach directly. And so instead of attacking them from outside, we step inside the network first. You can think of it like standing outside a building. Inside the building is a locked office, and you can't reach that locked office directly. But if you go inside the building, you can reach it. So that's what we are doing here. So the first step on the victim's machine, we are going to run this command. I'll paste this here. So systemctl is used to control the services in Linux. And then start SSH means we are starting the SSH server. SSH stands for Secure Shell, and it allows remote login. And without starting SSH, nobody can connect. So when I press enter, we can see here active running. That means that we are successful and the server is running. The next thing we have to do is to create a SOCKS proxy. For that, I'll copy the second command and I'll paste it on the attacker's machine. For this command, SSH here means we are connecting securely to another machine. And admin at 192.168.1.100 is the user and the target machine. And the important part is here. D stands for dynamic port forwarding. So what it means is that we are creating a SOCKS proxy on the local machine on the port 1080. So now anything that we send to localhost 1080 will travel through the SSH tunnel and it will come out from the victim's machine, which is 192.168.1.100. So when I press enter, over here we see dynamic forwarding established on localhost 1 and then 1080. That means that the tunnel is working and we just created, like a secret pipe or the tunnel. The next thing we have to do is to check proxy chain configuration. And we'll be doing that with this command. So I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. With this command, we want to confirm that proxy chains is configured to use our SOCKS proxy. So for this command, we see here cat. Cat just displays the file. That's all it's supposed to do. So when we press enter, we get all of this. And this is the command that we entered, and this is our result. Now, if you come to the bottom part, you're going to see this SOX 5 127.0.0.1 and then 1080. Now, in a previous video, we talked about SOX. SOX stands for Socket Secure. It's a type of proxy protocol that forwards traffic to any destination. It doesn't care if it's HTTP or SSH or something else, it just moves the data. So, this line means we are using a SOX 5 proxy at the IP 127.0.0.1 on the port 1080. 127.0.0.1 is the machine, the local host. So now Proxychains is showing that whenever we run a tool, send its traffic to this place, this port, and this IP address. And then 127.0.0.1 port 1080 forwards everything through the SSH tunnel. Now we have to scan internal service through the proxy. And for that, I'm going to copy this command, command 4, and paste it on the attacker's machine. Now, proxy chains over here in this command means we are forcing the next command to use proxy. Nmap is a network scanning tool. ST here is a TCP connect scan. P80 is simply saying scan port 80. And this part, internal web.local, is the internal service we're trying to target. So without proxy chains, Nmap will try to connect directly. But with proxy chains, the path becomes Nmap to the SOX proxy, to the SSH tunnel, and to the internal web server. So when we press enter, we get this output. In the output, we see, just a minute. In the output, we see here dynamic chain 127.0.0.1 port 1080. Okay, that means the proxy is being used and the tunnel is active. And then we see port state service 80 TCP open HTTP. That means port 80 is open. So we just scanned an internal web server through another machine. The next thing we need to do is to test. So we're going to test the IP difference. We're going to prove that traffic is actually going through the tunnel. So first, normally, I'll copy part of the command, just this part. I'll copy this and then I'll paste it here on the attacker's machine. When we press enter, we get this IP address. So this tells you your public IP address. If you run it, since we are running it normally, we are getting the attacker's actual IP address. But if we run the full command with proxy chains now, copy and paste. If you pay attention to the result, the IP address is 192.168.1.100. And that's the victim machine's IP address. That means that the website thinks we are the victim, the victim's machine or the target. So all the traffic is going through the SSH tunnel. And then it just confirms that everything is working. So proxy chains allows you to force tools through a proxy. And SSH with the -D creates a SOX proxy. Here, SSH with -D creates a SOX proxy. And together, they let you access internal services as if you were inside the network.